So I think the best way to do a hypermedia project with inspiration is to design the inspiration screen so that it can be shared with a web browser screen. So if you notice here, I've got my inspiration screen on the left and my browser screen on the right. This particular screen is actually Vicky's. It's on the same map that Vicky had submitted. So I just played around with it by clicking or by putting a little diagram up here. And this is actually based on one of Vicky's earlier projects where she had her students working on different parts of state symbols. So if you viewed Vicky's earlier project, she had a project where students were working on state symbols and then they were going to write a letter, or actually prepare to write a letter. Well, I just worked off of that a little bit and picked the theme of Pennsylvania's coat of arms, and I got this off of one of her web pages. But the idea of doing hypermedia is that the hypermedia should help the student create an understanding or help to support a deeper understanding of some topic. And if you look at the Pennsylvania coat of arms, what I did up here is just made little nodes that represent each of the symbols on the Pennsylvania coat of arms. And then I went up and I started to explore different pieces of the coat of arms. So if I'm looking at the ship right here, I placed a node for the ship and then asked the question, why is the ship part of Pennsylvania's coat of arms? And if you have the students investigate that, you have to think several things. First of all, what's the context for the creation of this coat of arms? And I learned that the coat of arms was created in 1778. So I need to think about, okay, the coat of arms was created in 1778. What's going on in early Pennsylvania? And I actually started to think about the age, what was the first cities settled in Pennsylvania. And I learned that Philadelphia was the first city in 1681, so that's where William Penn started Pennsylvania. So why was shipping important to Pennsylvania in 1768? Well, if you look, how did people get to Pennsylvania at that time? Well, they sailed on ships. So if you ask the question, how did they get there on ships, by clicking to the Locate Pennsylvania link, then you can see a map, and you can see Pennsylvania is landlocked except for this one little blue spot up here, and that's the bay going into the Delaware River. So people were able to have transportation to Pennsylvania from England by way of the Delaware River, and Philadelphia is the only major seaport that could be in Pennsylvania, unless there could be some other port somewhere along here. So in order to create additional meaning, what does a seaport look like on a river? I found two images of the seaport. Okay, there's a view of the Philadelphia seaport, and you can actually see the city and how close the seaport is to the city. And this second image helps to see that the seaport, the Philadelphia seaport, is actually on a river. There's land on both sides. So this would have to be looking south, and here's New Jersey on this side and Pennsylvania on this side of the river. So in terms of hypermedia, what I did is I found a few links that I could put onto this map that helped me to make understanding of why the ship was included in the Pennsylvania coat of arms. So when you're creating hypermedia documents, that's what you want to have happen. You want the media that you're selecting to help represent new understandings about a particular node. One other point, because the URLs aren't real easy to see in Inspiration, I decided that I should maybe color code all of the URLs or all of the links that have URLs with the same color, just as a visual cue that these cells represent hot links. Notice also that I'm using the note feature of Inspiration. That's the that's the collapse button right there, and up here's the note. Okay, so you can actually collapse the note also. So this upper little note symbol expands the note, okay, and collapses the note. This expands and collapses the nodes that are attached to that. So that's a quick demo of how I would use a hypermedia project where I think it would be important to display the URL or display a web browser window and the Inspiration window in the same place.